I'm Leroy Parchen, and I live in Richmond, Washington. Have since 1942. My family came out here. I was 2 years old. My dad was working at Hanford for DuPont at that time. We lived in Sunnyside and out at Camp Hanford. Moved in and waited for our house to be built in Richland. Graduated from Richmond High School, so I went all the way through Richmond schools. Went to Central Washington State College where I met my wife, Linda. We were married in 1961, had 3 daughters, which I don't know if I'd ever want to repeat that, but fortunately they all grew up and now have families. I worked at Hanford for 33 years, retired in 1997.
What did you do while you were at Hanford?
I was a technical specialist in the fuels research area. We did a lot of radiation testing of different types of nuclear fuels.
Okay. What can you tell me about your parents? What were their names?
Well, my dad's name was Ken and my mom's name was Agnes. My mom was from Clinton, Iowa, and my dad was from Dolan, South Dakota. Mom loved to bowl, and Dad loved to hunt and fish, and follow sports around, just about the same way I am.
Yeah. Can you tell me about any achievements you've made in your life?
Well, there's a couple things I'm really kind of proud of. My wife and I started a softball league here in Richmond in 1972 for the girls. And it has grown from about 20 kids in 1972 to thousands of kids playing it now, not only in the Tri-Cities, but everywhere. But at that time, there was no girls' sports of any kind in Richmond.
Oh. Okay, what about your high school career?
Well, I fortunately graduated somehow.
Yeah.
Played basketball and baseball. In 1958, we won the state championship at Richmond High School, which was a big deal at that part of my life, and still have a lot of friends off that team that we still get together and chat about it.
Okay, and about your parents, can you tell me when they were born, or do you know?
Well, my mom was born in 1920 in Clinton, Iowa, and that's the same place I was born. It was in Clinton, Iowa. My dad was born in 1912, passed away in 1988. As I said earlier, he loved the outdoors, and anything to do with the outdoors, Dad was probably doing it.
Okay. Did you know your grandparents?
Oh yeah, my grandpa Keenan, grandpa and grandma, they had, my grandpa was quite a guy. They had 14 kids. The first 13 was 13 girls, and he finally had a boy, so that was the last of the children that they had. But my mom came from a family of 13 girls and 1 boy. Now on my dad's side, Grandpa Parchen, or Henry, and Ollie was my grandma. She was a painter. And my grandpa was just kind of a construction guy and lived all of his life in a little town in Dolan, South Dakota, which was about 150 people.
Do you by any chance know the time in which they were born, like about when they were born?
No, I don't, not for sure on my grandpa and grandpa's side. I told you my mom and dad's.
Okay. Would you say that they were they were born in the 1800s?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was your family involved majorly in any of the wars that have been in America?
No.
Okay.
My dad was never served in the military.
No.
My brother Don was in the Air Force, but other than that, that's the only military service.
Okay.
I was never in the service.
Okay. And do you know where the origins of our family are from? Like,
well, my dad was German, and my mother was Irish. I don't remember the whole story, but my the Parchen family came from Germany. They were cults back in those days. In about 1825, they came over on a ship, and they kind of homesteaded at that time in Illinois. The whole cult came, and the guy with the leader of the cult was also Kenneth Parchen. So that was my dad's name.
Okay. And what other type of family history can you tell me? Like, just...
Well, there's not a whole lot of Parchens in the United States. Right here in the Tri-Cities, we may be as many as there is any place, but I really don't know. I know there's a few in California, a few in Illinois and Indiana in that area, but I don't know much about my family tree. Now I've got a brother, Don, that could tell you all about that kind of stuff. But
Maybe we should go see about Don.
What can you tell me about your brothers? And
well, I had 4 brothers and 1 sister. My oldest brother, Kenny, he drowned in 1948. And my other oldest brother, Don, who I mentioned, and I have Keith and Wayne, and then my sister, Jenny. And we are in the age bracket of 50 to 68 years old now.
Okay.
I being almost 67.
Okay. And what date were you born?
July 6, 1940.